Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 3rd. We're just going to jump right in here and see what is going on for you. You have this card that says, you're shedding energies that no longer match your frequency. Let go. I mean, really let go. There's something better on the horizon. Those two cards match up perfectly. So you are clearly letting go of something. And look, here you have the card of the horizon, the Three of Wands. So you're looking off into the future, or, you know, maybe you're looking off into the horizon and it's like you see something better is coming in for you. I feel like you finally see it. You know, the Three of Wands is the card of foresight, being able to see the future or seeing something coming. And that's kind of what I feel is coming in for you here, Taurus, is like a brighter future, something much better, something that's going to kind of like work. I feel like you need to prove something to yourself here, Taurus. Like, and here's what I mean by that. Like, I feel like you need to start creating small wins in your life, or you're just going to feel stuck. And you know, this is something that changed my life completely, is just creating like little tiny wins, not these big, huge wins. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but, you know, tiny, small little wins, they all add up to much, much bigger wins. And eventually you build up so much momentum that you're just winning all the time. And I kind of feel that energy here. It's like, this is a little bit... You know, I like the Three of Wands. I'm not saying it's a bad card, but what I would say is that it can be a card of just waiting. You know, it's a card of waiting for something to happen that's never going to happen unless you take action. And so I think the best thing to do, you know, with a reading like this is just to take tiny little steps towards your goal, wish, or dream. You know, I always use writing a book as an example for you because, I don't know, just because I do. And it's like, can you just commit to writing 100 words a day? And can you celebrate, can you celebrate that 100 words a day? Can you celebrate it? Can you say, hey, at the end of a week, 700 words, big, that's a big win. And can you celebrate it? I think creating those small wins and not putting too much pressure on yourself is like what you need right now. Same thing in love as well. And I would start small in love. Like, I think we have to obviously talk to people if we're looking for love, but it's like, can you just talk to people in your life in general that you do love, right? I think we have to match the energy of what we want. So, I feel like whatever you want, I would start doing it. Can you take yourself on a date? Can you take your brother and sister or whatever on a date? Not that way, but in the sense that you're just going out and having fun, right? It's like, can you just match the energy? And that's what I feel like this Three of Wands is, like saying these small steps. And this is why I feel like you're not seeing things right now. It's like you're not, and this is not a criticism either, Taurus, but I just think you need to see the opportunities that exist in front of you. But obviously, if you're staying home or, not doing things, it's like the opportunities are not going to show up for you. So I feel like there are a ton of opportunities that are like waiting for you, but it's almost as if the universe is saying in this reading that you have to put yourself in the energy of the opportunities first before they will show up in your life. I definitely feel like you've been healing. So, again, is this really a bad thing? I would say no, because I feel like you've been through this healing period, but he's hoping and praying to receive blessings. There's a person here, right here in that stained glass window, who's receiving blessings from another person. So it's almost like you've been hoping and praying for blessings. But if we go this way, you go High Priestess to the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work, of course, but here's the thing, Taurus, that I'm going to say to you, is that you have the Three of Pentacles next to the Seven of Swords, and you might be saying, why is this important? Well, because she has polka dots on her cloak, he has polka dots on his cloak. Polka dots in the tarot represent taking things too seriously. Whenever I have those two cards together, to me, it doesn't represent lying, cheating, stealing, or a third party. It could, but, big whoop. It's like people always like to correct me and say, like, oh, that's a third party. I'm like, okay, great, what are you going to do about it? It's like, then why are you staying in it? Right? It's like, what is me telling you that do other than nothing? Really, what that means to me is that you're taking something too serious. Sometimes, like, trust me, I've been there, like, for 3.5 years when I was stuck in my life, really, really stuck. I took everything too seriously. I wouldn't allow myself to have fun. I forced myself to work. I was trying to force things to work in life as well. And guess what? Nothing worked. So, I had to release, and that's kind of what I see here. I'm not saying that your life is like that extreme, like mine was, but, I do feel those two cards are saying more fun, more enjoyment, not taking things too seriously, not putting too much pressure on yourself, right? More go with the flow. With the Three of Wands, you have the Sun. You have the sun twice in your reading, which is definitely very positive. The sun in a reading, just in general, makes the whole entire reading more positive, but having it twice, definitely very good. A lot of happiness coming in for you as well. Kind of feel like something's trying to get your attention here. It could be like a little bit of a mystery, It's like you showed up about, I don't know, 900 times in Virgo's reading, and the reason I'm saying this is because I said the same thing to Virgo. So if you have Virgo in your chart, you might want to watch that reading, but I feel like there could be something that just like captures your attention. It's like sometimes I think we become interested in something and we're like, maybe that's interesting to me, maybe it's not. But then it keeps repeating. And I feel like there could be something that keeps repeating itself in your, like kind of in your awareness. It's like maybe you think about, starting a certain business, maybe like people, places, and things keep showing up that remind you of that business. Maybe, but it doesn't have to be business. It could be like a health change you want to make. It could be, a relationship idea, how to get into a relationship idea. It could be the type of relationship you want to enter into. But whatever it is, doesn't matter. I just think that something keeps repeating. And the sun is like shines a light on the things we want. The sun says, pay attention to the things that are capturing your attention. The sun tries to guide us by putting a spotlight on the things that are important. So, I would say you're definitely, something is repeating. Pay attention. With the Four of Cups, you have the Death card. Something has to change in your life. I feel like you know that. I feel like you're going through a transformation in general. So, it makes perfect sense to me. With the Four of Swords, you have the Eight of Cups, walking away from things that no longer serve you. I feel like you're also kind of like done waiting for blessings with that Four of Swords going this way. And I feel like you're now kind of realizing that we don't just get blessings, we create blessings. And I feel that you're doing the things necessary to create these blessings in your life. And what I would say is that in your present position, you have this Fish card that says, pay attention to your dreams. I think you just need to pay attention in general. I'm not saying that you're not paying attention. I'm just saying that the sun is clearly trying to get your attention. There is something's repeating in your life that keeps popping up in your head. Whatever it is, I don't know. I would pay attention to it. I think it's going to lead to more success. This is also the card that I get kind of like those small wins on. I think that, especially with the astrology that we have right now, there's just too much pressure. The best way I could describe it is that Neptune and Pisces, I think, makes everything bigger. It makes us want to achieve really, really big goals, which is great. I think, as I've said a million times, we could accomplish more than we've ever thought we could possibly accomplish with Neptune and Pisces. But the challenge is like taking that fantasy and bringing it down to earth. Because let me tell you, with Neptune and Pisces, that fantasy, the thing that exists up here in the clouds, it just feels better. Or we think that it feels better, right? Or it just feels good that it exists above us. And again, the trick with Neptune and Pisces, especially with Saturn moving into Pisces as well, is that we have to put in the work. And, people always say, I feel anxious watching your readings. You keep saying that I have to go do the work. I'm like, okay, go watch Barney's tarot, right? But I'm sure Barney, I look like Barney today, right? I'm sure Barney will tell you, oh, it's okay. You don't have to do anything. Things are just going to magically happen for you. Go see how that works for you. Come back in 5 years. There you go. But for the rest of you that are smart, you have the Ace of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Sun card. Again, I would focus on the thing that that captures your attention. The sun also represents direction. There are these sunflowers here on the sun card, obviously. And sunflowers in the tarot, they kind of like point towards the sun. And so it more says that, there are things that are pointing towards the sun in your life. That's kind of like what's popping into my head here with this energy. And so I feel for a lot of you, that it's time for you to take action. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, I feel like there's some worries going this way. So I'm wondering if you're like worrying that you either don't have the resources when you do, or you are worrying about repeating a mistake in your life. So again, like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think there are some things that need to be overcome here. I do believe that for you, these are personal beliefs that you have, or, they might be like, as I always say, I'm a big believer, a big fan of like guys like Bruce Lipton and, what's the other guy there that now I'm not going to remember, Joe Dispenza. It's like they all say that we're basically programmed from birth or, shortly thereafter. And like a lot of these programs no longer serve us, but if we change the program, then we change our life. And I get that here for you, where it's kind of like saying, there might be some, childhood traumas, but it might not even be trauma. It might just be, again, I just watched a thing about, like, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about, like, 2-year-olds. It's like 2-year-olds can't really tell a difference between, like, if they might have very, very good attentive parents, but, if up until the age of 2, like, a parent ignores you one time, it can hurt you very deeply, right? But these things no longer serve us as adults. So there could be some things that you're overcoming here, or that you just are realizing that could be bringing up, like, imposter syndrome or other things in your life. And I kind of feel like this needs to be explored. I feel like the High Priestess is saying she has this tapestry behind her, and the tapestry behind her represents a mystery, but she has to, like, go explore the mystery. She's also the card of unlimited potential. There's no roof over her head here on the card, and I always say that really there's no limit to what she can accomplish, but other than her own action, as in she has to take action to make something happen. She also has to visualize. She has this crown on her head, and it represents 3 stages of a moon, but she kind of like sees the beginning, middle, and end of any situation that she enters into, but she sees it as she wants it to go. It's not necessarily intuitive. She's visualizing the things that she wants as she wants them to be, and I'm a big fan of you doing that here, Taurus. I would definitely do it. You have the Ace of Cups, your emotions overflowing, a lot of happiness here. So I feel like there could be a lot of happiness coming in for you, joy, abundance. I also do feel like there could be love coming in for you. I wouldn't really necessarily say it's a love reading, although there is love here, as I always say. But if we go this way, there's like some sort of worry. We're going to have to see what's going on here. I can't tell if this is you or a person that's coming in for you. Just like both ways. Both ways are not great going this way. What I will say is I wouldn't worry about it because, again, you have the sun twice, which definitely makes the reading a little bit more positive. But either I can't tell if it's you that has been left out in the cold and that could be affecting new love coming into your life, or if it's a person or both of you maybe. But again, we're going to clarify as we go through this. With the Ace of Cups, you have the 2 Wands. Yeah, you have this card, which is about being bold, being assertive, really getting out there. And your very next card says, be bold, make the first move. So if you are interested in a person, I would say shoot your shot. The 2 Wands about leaving a comfort zone. And again, as I always say, like, people used to ask me the question all the time, like, I'm interested in this person, should I let them know? I'm like, well, yes. It's like, it doesn't matter if they say yes or no to you. It's like, you will never know unless you ask. So, I always tell people, it's like, who cares if it's a yes or a no? And here's the other thing. If it's a no, at least you had the balls to ask, right? Which is great, because then you prove to the universe that you're being confident and that you're going to go for what you want. And then the universe is like, oh, okay, I'm going to bring them something they want. So I'm a big fan of just asking people, stuff like that. So I would do it. With the High Priestess, you have the Tower here. Everybody's had the Tower. Not everybody, but a ton of people have had it so far. Maybe like 1 or 2 signs haven't. Wouldn't surprise me if they're just more global tower moments. Again, we're going to see more bank collapses and, like all that sorts of stuff there, right? Is what I would say. The other thing that I will say is I kind of want to do a video on this, but I think that people keep asking me like, oh, should I invest in this, that, or the other thing, right? In like crypto, but also like certain stocks and things like that. And I keep telling people, like, number one, do your research. I think the markets, I've been right already. Like I said before the beginning of the year that I thought the markets were just going to be like this, basically up and down, and I think that this year we will see big swings in the markets, all of them, right? And this can be good if you know what you're doing. Obviously, if you don't learn, right, don't just blindly invest. But what I would say is that I think over the next 20 years, we're going to see a lot of curveballs, and people who pay attention to those curveballs are going to be very successful. And here's what I mean by that. It's like, everybody's like, it's like a big thing right now is electric vehicles. And there are people who hate electric cars and only like gas cars and everything like that. But as I always say, it's like there might be some other type of car that comes out of nowhere that's like a curveball. That's something, that's totally different, that runs off of air or something like that, right? And it's like those are the things, and that's just one example. I'm not saying that's going to happen either. I'm just saying that those like third solutions, those third places, or I call them a third place, basically. They're third place solutions. It's like everybody's this side, that side, but really Pluto and Aquarius is like something crazy like over here that's like not this side or that side, right? And So if you can find those types of solutions, you will be ridiculously successful. Mark my words, I promise. Come back in 20 years, come back in whatever 20 years from now is, 2044, 2043, somewhere around there. I guarantee you we will see a bunch of third place solutions. And again, if you can spot those opportunities in stock market or anything else for that matter, it could be very successful. Obviously, again, be smart. Don't sell your house and like invest every single last cent you have. We have to practice good financial hygiene, especially if you have Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus will spank you if you do bad things, right? If you just blow all your money at the casino, basically, that is the stock market, right? The stock market is gambling. Crypto, I love crypto, don't get me wrong, but it is gambling. I also think that what people don't realize about crypto, and I'm a big fan of crypto, but you never know, it could be like a government, psyop type thing. So I would be very careful. I don't invest any more than I'm willing to lose into anything, right? So be smart. But what I would say is that in your personal life, there could be some third place solutions that really stand out to you. Maybe there's a person in love that you never kind of really saw that way, but maybe they're like different. Maybe they're very different. Maybe there's a job offer that's very different than what you've done before. And this reading with that tower is kind of like screaming that to me. It's like saying, hey, there's a lot of opportunity in like the unusual, the innovative, the Pluto and Aquarius, right? With the sun, you have the lovers. Yes, there's definitely love coming in for you. Could be a Scorpio. Could be a water sign. But you have Scorpio twice right next to each other. You have the death card and the tower, both Scorpio. Could be any sign, of course. Could be a Pisces, Leo. You always get Leo in your readings. Every single reading I do for you, I'm pretty sure. So, and it could also be Gemini as well. Take it how it resonates. I also feel it could be a Virgo because you had Virgo in your... Virgo had you in their reading. So definitely could be love. That makes you very happy. Next, you have this card that says, Cardinal Moon, be bold and make the first move. Yes, if you're interested in someone, I would definitely make the first move. For some of you, I feel like you have to. It's like maybe there's a person who just doesn't know that you're interested, and it's like obviously you can wait until the cows come home, but if they don't even know you exist, then, I would make yourself known here. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. Two people who have been hurt. I feel it now that it's like two people. I feel like this is both of you. So you could be interested in a person who is like cheated on or something like that. I feel like they'll tell you this as well if you get to know this person. But it's like I feel like you really want to work on a team. As far as love is concerned, Three of Pentacles is my favorite card, one of my favorite love cards, because it's a card of teamwork, and it's also a card of like two people who have like the same plan for life. I'm not saying, I don't actually feel like you two are similar. You could be attracting someone very different than your usual type, like I just said, with the whole Pluto and Aquarius thing. But what I would say is I feel like your plan, like your ideas for life, maybe your values are very similar as well. So I think that's something that will stand out to you, is that you could be different, but similar at the same time. I also feel like there's something about work here where it's like you're taking work in a new direction. I'm pretty sure I said this to you last week. I could be wrong. Or it might have been the April reading, the monthly reading that I said this in. But what I would say is I feel like there's a new direction in work. It's going to require some teamwork. It's going to require you to be tactical as well. The Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing. But again, it's not the only thing that it means. It's also a golden card. And golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. He is stealing those swords from an army that's in the background. And it just represents the fact that instead of going to war, he's stealing a sword so they can't be used against him. So it's a card of tactics. It says instead of attacking something head on, there might be a better way of doing things. And again, third place solutions, that's what I'd be looking at. You have this Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles it's like you feel like you don't have the resources. I feel like, but again, I feel like this is like two people who would totally be interested in each other that are not looking at each other. For some of you, it's kind of weird. Like I have a weird story popping into my head where it's like maybe you work somewhere and it's like maybe there's a person that you've seen at work who like works a different shift. It's like maybe you just pass each other. You've never really talked. I don't know. That's how it's popping into my head. I just see two people who are just always going past each other. So it could be that maybe you go to the gym and maybe you just kind of like pass each other at the gym, or maybe you go for a walk and you walk past this person. I don't know. There's something there for some of you. Obviously, that's not going to be true for all of you, but I feel like someone needs to open up here. So there you go. For others, I feel like you don't have the resources to start something new, like a business, career, whatever, or could be a relationship. But Seven of Swords, again, says be tactical. You also have the Eight of Pentacles. I kind of feel like there's money that you don't realize is coming in for you. That's the words that I'm getting. This is not surprise money. I don't feel like it's a surprise. Eight of Pentacles is very specific in that we have to work for the Eight of Pentacles, but I feel like you have done the work. It's almost like saying to me that you could be getting some sort of reward for work that you've done in the past. And, obviously that's not going to be true for all of you, but for some of you, for others, I just feel the Eight of Pentacles saying you are improving your finances. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Swords. Yes, there needs to be communication here. I would also don't rush any relationship. Obviously, if both of you are in this position, just take your time. I feel like this person will communicate at least, yes. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Swords. It's like Queen of Swords has her sword up, but her hand out. She's like cautiously optimistic. She's kind of like open to receiving love, but she's also like defending herself, And so I feel like for some of you, this is clearly love. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Fool. Yes, starting something new in work. We talked about this. There's clearly a change in work, and I feel it's going to be very profitable for you, but not overnight, Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon, but if you're thinking about a new direction, definitely very good for you. I would also start stacking those small wins. Like I said, if you have a business, for example, it's like maybe you need to start posting every day on social media, but maybe you just start with like one thing, like Twitter or whatever. I don't care what you want to use, right? And I would just start stacking those small wins because it's like over time, it's going to add up. Again, that's how I built this channel. It's like I was stuck for years at like 34,000 subs. And it wasn't until I started making 1% improvements every single video that I did. And I paid attention to what was working and doubled down on what worked. That's what grew my channel so quickly. So, that's what I would be doing here. With the next at the end here for your outcome, you have this To the Sea card. Again, Three of Wands, needing to get out. Three of Wands can be a card of your ships coming in, but it can also be the ships going out. And I feel for some of you, you have to explore some new opportunities that could be coming your way, some third place solutions, like I said. You have the Seven of Swords, the Empress, and the Nine of Swords. It's like I feel like, again, if this is love, that both people are worried that they're going to repeat the same cycle. There actually looks to be a lot of love here. If we go up, you have the Ace of Cups to the Two of Wands, but the Two of Wands would say both people need to leave the comfort zone. They need to leave the comfort of their protection. They're being, the Two of Wands, he's being protected by the castle. He's standing at the top of the castle, but he needs to get out into the world. He's got that whole world in his hands. But I feel like if you are interested in a person, like I said, both people need to do this. I feel like if it's like two people who have had a similar situation in love, and I'm pretty sure I've said the same thing to Scorpio, so it could definitely be a Scorpio, but take it how it resonates. Could be any sign. And I feel like it's like you and this person are both worried about repeating, like being blindsided. It's almost like, I feel like you could be attracting a person who was blindsided, and maybe you're blindsided, meaning maybe someone broke up with you out of nowhere. Maybe they cheated on you out of nowhere, like there was no warning. And that's like the type of feeling I get here. But I do feel like you're very attractive at this time. You're coming up as the Empress, which is you. Doesn't matter what gender you are either. I feel like you're coming up as very abundant. Tons of opportunity for success and abundance for you. So that's all I get here. Taurus is abundance. And the Seven of Swords, we've talked about this enough. So, I do feel like some of you have dealt with lying, cheating, stealing, but for the most part, I feel like it's saying like, hey, there are some other ways of doing things, and I think it's true for everyone, but it's definitely true for you. I would open up to, different ways of running your business or your career or your relationships or your health or whatever it is you want to improve upon. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles twice in this reading. Eight of Pentacles also is like smart work, And so when you think about it, the Seven of Swords, that guy on the Seven of Swords, he's working smarter, not harder. It's like if he were to go to battle with that army the next day, there would be death, destruction, and all that other stuff. But by stealing the swords, there's nothing. So I feel for a lot of you, this is kind of like saying, think smarter, not harder. With the Empress, you have the Devil. Could be a Capricorn coming in for you. I don't think this is Devil energy, or it could be a person who has a lot of Capricorn in their chart as well. But I don't really get any toxic energy. Let's just clarify, just for the sake of clarifying that again. Yep, you have the Empress here, so just repeating itself. Like, can we get more in? You actually have the Ten of Swords in reverse, but I don't read reversals, but I do feel that some of you, there have been some difficult endings, and that could be why you're closed off. And I feel like this person's closed off as well in love. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Nine of Swords. So many repeating cards here, Taurus. Whenever I have repeating cards, it's basically like the universe is like, okay, get to it. Like, as in, the universe is just repeating everything that I said. So there you go. We're going to pull 5 main themes now here, Taurus, and we're going to see what is going on for you. You have this butterfly. It says a change for the better. Yes, definitely major improvements. The sun twice in your reading, so something much better. No stinking thinking. Again, that last row, it's like, while I don't feel bad about it, there is a lot of stinking thinking energy here, so keep it positive. You have this weeping willow, which says family sorrow on it, so some of you could be experiencing a loss or something like that. You have this bow. It says you were highly thought of. Yes, don't sell yourself short here, Taurus. You have this elephant, which says a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. 3 of Wands. So I feel for a lot of you, if you're thinking about putting in the work, 8 of Pentacles twice, plus that 3 of Wands would be going on a long journey, basically, then I feel there's a lot of abundance for you there. And here you go. You have this coins card. It says money will be coming to you. So there's definitely money, the money you need to make something happen. And, I would get moving here, Taurus. Looks really good. So, and small wins. That's all I would be focusing on in all whatever, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many or what area of life you want to improve upon. I think just creating those small wins is your answer. Looks really good. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.